Unresolved problem segment tonight, entitlement fraud. By some estimates, perhaps as much as 25% of all the tax money that federal and state governments give in entitlements to low-income Americans is misused. Recently, the CBS TV station in Sacramento, California, did an undercover report on food stamp fraud.
Two people, both with the same idea, use Craigslist as free advertising to blatantly and illegally sell their state benefits. Our hidden cameras rolling. A woman we'll call Lori tells our undercover producer about her brilliant idea to game the system for a quick buck.
You know, everyone said I was crazy, and I was like, I thought people would say to me, oh my God, that's freaking brilliant, man.
And this guy we'll call Joe rolled up on a skateboard showing us his CalFresh card he illegally put up for sale on Craigslist.
See, right now it still has $116 on it.
Rather than use that $116 for food like he's supposed to, he offers to sell us the card for just $60 cash.
I just need the money right now, and I moved up in the phone, so.
He promises to give us his PIN number so we can use his card to buy groceries in any store that accepts EBT cards.
So they don't check ID or anything?
Joe freely admits he's done this before for family and friends, saying, don't worry, we won't get caught. Lori doesn't even think what she's doing is wrong.
I feel justified in what I'm saying and what I'm doing.
She would use the cash for a car to get to work.
I figure it this way. They're already giving me the money, okay?
Here now with more on the fraud problem, the big picture, Fox Business anchor John Stossel. So, you know, you can make an argument, well, there's going to be thugs and thieves everywhere. You know, no system's going to run perfectly. But the stats for Medicare, for example, are just unbelievable on how much money is being wasted.
And the Inspector General just came out with $29 million in drug payments to people illegally in the United States.
What does that mean, $29 million in drug payments?
It means
bogus prescriptions?
Or real prescriptions to people who aren't supposed to be reimbursed for them.
Okay, so people whose income was too high to get it, but they got it anyway.
People who are illegal aliens, who are not eligible. But more relevant, $23 million for dead patients.
For Medicaid?
Right, Medicare. $25 million for dead doctors. And this,
what? $25 million for dead doctors? What does that mean?
It means the doctor has this book and he says, okay, I treated someone for Bill O'Reilly disease and put all this in.
Yeah.
Somebody's filling it out for the doctor who has died. And they
so
keep
the doctor's
out
dead.
The money. Right.
Somebody's filling out forms that they have saying that he's still alive, treating somebody, and the money rolls in. How do they cash a check in the doctor's name?
They lie about who they are.
So they'd have to have a whole ID worked up by the dead doctor, and you could do that. You could get
often a relative of the doctor, but you know, any of these big programs, this stuff is going to happen, and HHS admits there's 60 billion. These are just millions, 60 billion in fraud on Medicare. And
just on Medicare?
Just on Medicare.
$60 billion a year?
$60 billion, fraud and waste.
So if Obamacare kicks into this 30 million people getting subsidized or free, you got to assume that the same kind of situation is going to be unfolding.
It's a little harder because it's insurance payments, but yes, and there'll be people getting fake treatments, unnecessary treatments as these programs grow. At first, needy people rush in, and then the cheaters say, hey, this is a wonderful scam.
Well, they got to figure out the scam. I mean, and they'll figure it out.
It doesn't take long. And then they see their neighbors doing it, and they feel, yeah, I'm a sucker if I don't sell my food stamp card.
Now, food stamps have exploded. I mean, we're up to an astronomical amount of Americans getting them. Is it that easy to sell your card?
Apparently, and we're monitoring the situation, is what they said to the CBS reporter when he asked the authorities about that.
They're monitoring.
They're monitoring it. And
but
now
if you can ride up on a skateboard and sell $116 worth of food stamps for $60, a lot of people are going to take that deal.
But it's tough to fight it. You want to cut people's food stamps? Some of the people are really needy, and you don't want people to go hungry, do you?
All right, you're being facetious now.
Not entirely, because that's why it's so tough to reform these things. More people cheat all the time.
Right. But if you go after it, then you're harming the legitimate people who need it.
Right.
But I think there's got to be more oversight. But I do think that once Obamacare kicks in, the fraud is going to be massive. John Stossel, everybody. Plenty more ahead as a Factor.